Lords, ladies, and lieges, please bear witness as Dame Liv and Dame Elissa engage in noble combat for your diversion. Our lovely knights will smash into each other on motorcycles at speeds upwards of 60 miles per hour, while swinging massive wooden sticks at one another. If one of them miraculously comes out of this without needing to be hospitalized, she'll get out of doing dishes for the week. Much more importantly, it'll be sick as shit. This is Knightriders.
It is sick as shit. Welcome to Art Should Be Illegal, a podcast about art and its place in society. My name is Liv, and my pronouns are it and she. I'm the person who's talking right now.
My name is Elissa. My pronouns are she and they. I have never spoken in my life.
My name is Annie, and my pronouns are she and her. I speak constantly. They have to stop my recording when they want me to stop.
We've been watching the movie Knightriders, and just off the dome, what do we think?
Sick as shit.
The same.
Yeah, this movie kicks so much fucking ass. It is awesome start to finish.
This movie rips.
I really enjoyed watching stunt people just eat so much shit. And it looks like they love it as well.
Yeah. This movie is just pure enrichment.
Miraculously, to my knowledge, no stuntmen were killed in the making of this movie, which is wild.
Because they're professionals.
I really imagine that the way that Romero got this movie made was he walked into like a stunt guy bar in Hollywood and was like, who here wants to smack each other off of motorcycles and get paid for it? And everybody in the bar was like, yo.
I'm reliably informed that the way it used to work in the movie industry, you made a successful movie and then you just had carte blanche to do whatever the fuck you wanted. That's also how Stardust got made.
Oh, okay. Zardos was really good.
Yeah, it was, but it was really something else.
Oh, yeah. You could never get Zardos made with that budget today.
You really couldn't.
What happened with this movie was obviously Romero had made a couple of pretty famous movies by this point.
What are you talking about? What movies do you?
Yeah, you might have heard of him and his small productions. Just inventing the zombie movie genre.
Yes,
things of this nature.
He made World War Z.
His making it and then immediately perfecting it with the sequel. Dawn of the Dead's amazing.
Never heard of it.
I know.
I'm kidding.
And to be fair to him, most of his movies aren't zombie movies. Most of the stuff he's done. Not zombie related. It's just that he's best known for that. Yes,
it is what got him famous.
Yeah, because we don't remember his non-zombie movies.
Speak for yourself.
That's purely a you thing.
Oh, okay. I always only speak for myself.
My favorite movie of his maybe is other than this one is I sort of a vampire movie, I guess.
Oh God, Martin, you keep talking about that.
I'm never gonna shut up about it either.
Okay.
We could just watch it.
So what happened with this movie was he was very well known for having made zombie movies, and a particular Hollywood exec that wanted to make a name as a producer apparently was not aware that most of his movies are extremely, extremely not zombie movies, and agreed to fund 3 movies. And so with the assumption being that he would go out and make another Living Dead movie. This was the first movie he made as part of that partnership, and it flopped. It fucking cratered on release. Critics were furious that it wasn't a zombie movie. Other people were
babies.
Furious that it was full of nerds that beat the shit out of each other all movie. People were pissed that it wasn't enough of an action movie. They were pissed that it wasn't enough of a drama. They were pissed that there were no zombies. Everyone was infuriated by this movie on release, and they were all wrong, and they're all Philistines.
This movie is incredible because not only is it just absolutely sick, it's also really clearly Romero just like working some shit out for himself.
Yeah, so many of Romero's movies are like you can tell that he's really thinking about something, and he's really working through it and engaging with it in a way that most filmmakers don't bother to. Some of our recent viewing, is the exact opposite of that, where they're never really fully engaged with the subject matter. Romero's the exact opposite, and this is clearly a very personal film about like actual experiences he's had both in and out of filmmaking.
Yeah, some men would rather make a studio film than get therapy, and honestly, it makes for some great viewing.
Yeah, it's awesome. Those guys rule.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into the film itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we open with birds.
Yeah.
A blackbird specifically.
Yeah, and it's flying through the woods. It's like some kind of motif or something.
Wow. Motifs in my movies?
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds gay.
Wow. And then we see baby Ed Harris naked in the woods, flogging himself.
He still has a little bit of hair in this. It's so weird to see.
Man was bald from the day he was born. I swear to God.
Wait, what else is he known for? I'm not a big movie person. Which we're trying to.
He's been in so many movies.
Ed Harris is definitely like one of those guys you like to see.
He's one of those guys that's always good in everything.
He is. What I most like directly think of him in is The Rock, Westworld. He was in Westworld.
Oh right. Oh my god.
Which was good for a season.
Yeah, that's.
Are those the two examples you can think of Ed Harris movies?
I know Ed Harris. I know he's in a lot of shit. That movie that I love, Snowpiercer.
Oh.
Okay, fair enough.
He's in Snowpiercer.
He's been in many
Elissa,
things.
bail me out. Bail me out.
No.
No.
He has been in just so much. Anyway, he's flogging himself.
Our beautiful hairless boy, Ed Harris, is bathing in a creek and just whacking himself with a stick.
Yeah. He has clearly been sleeping here overnight with his goyle.
His goyle, yes.
Yeah, with his beautiful wife.
That's not clear. Their specific relationship is not clear. This woman is hardly a character.
Yeah, she's there to push back against him, and that's about it. She does not have very many lines.
Lynette, I think, is the character's name. Anyway, so the two of them then jump on a motorcycle with Ed Harris wearing like cosplay.
Yeah, she like straps him into a full suit of armor, and he puts this ridiculous looking like motorcycle with like a helmet over it on. With a great big plume on it. It's great. Yeah, it kicks ass.
And then we get our opening titles for Knightriders trademark.
Yes. Them trademarking this is so wild. I truly want to know how the fuck they got this trademarked. Typically movies are not granted trademarks unless there is like some sort of, unless it's like a franchise with multiple entries, or there's like merchandising that's going on, something like that. But a one-off movie does not get trademarked.
I imagine that they wanted to do like Knight Rider merch and sequels. And oh, buddy.
Yeah.
I love this just as an opening because it immediately establishes what kind of world we're in. Like, these are anachronistic people. Like, the initial setup is you don't think that this is going to be like a present day movie. You are like, oh, they're putting on armor. Okay, this is going to be like a fantasy kind of deal. And they're hopping on a fucking motorcycle. Okay.
Yeah, it's great. They hop on a motorcycle and it's just the 80s and we're in the sticks in the US somewhere.
We're in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, somewhere in rural Pennsylvania. Somewhere just outside of Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So we then cut over to the main area where the Ren Fair is happening. And to be fair, this is a really shitty Ren Fair.
Yes.
It is.
This movie did not have that high of a budget.
Yeah. The Ren Fair part of it is like some guys with open air kiosks. It's crap. But the thing is, I would still go to this Ren Fair because the main event fucking rocks.
The main event. And did you note what the main event is called? Because it's not called Knightriders.
Oh, I didn't.
What was it?
That their company is called Fight or Yield.
That kicks so much ass.
No, it's shit. It's awful.
That kicks.
Just call it Knightriders. Like, why didn't you just write Knightriders on the side of your truck?
This movie does get kind of a title drop later on, but it's not the way you think.
I don't remember that. Okay.
We'll
I'll learn
there.
something.
Yeah, we introduced like a couple of people in the cast. One thing I noted here is that not everyone is beautiful, which is, I love to see it. They look like normal people, and it's quite a diverse cast as well, which we love to see.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the women are not super well represented, but they're still there. They're definitely like there, and they have roles. So I do like that.
They have roles. I mean, I would say that they're actual characters, and there's more LGBTQIA. Fuck, I'm gonna redo this one. And there's like more queer representation than I see in a lot of movies.
Yeah, there's like real queer representation.
Yeah.
The cast is very interracial.
Yeah, some of the characters are explicitly gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cast is quite interracial. It's good.
We'd love to see it.
Yeah, it's a movie that actually cares about its characters and is really trying to depict like what kind of people are in this weird little world that they've carved out for themselves, and how diverse that is, and how for the time how out of the ordinary that is.
Yeah. So we are introduced to a few of the players in this troupe. Tom Savini as Morgan, our deuteragonist. I don't call him an antagonist.
Yeah, he's really not.
He really isn't. He's meant to play the antagonist, but in a way where it's like, yeah, he's like the antagonist, but they're all buddies. Like they do the dishes together.
Yeah, I use the term deuteragonist very intentionally here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He is kind of a huge asshole, for sure.
He is a big piece of shit for a big chunk of the movie, but as we see repeatedly, like all of the antagonism between these characters is left behind. Like they fight and they have arguments, but at the end of the day, they love what they do and they are all friends, and like that togetherness is a big part of what this movie is about and why it works.
Yeah, and the conflict does not come from... Like, the conflict is very real. It comes from people trying to live with each other.
Yeah, but it doesn't come from animosity between them.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, they're all trying to make this thing work, and they have different ideas of how to do it, and that's the conflict. It's not like I'm evil Tom Savini and I'm scheming all the time.
Yeah, I have a mustache and black armor.
He's a goatee.
Yeah, I have a goatee, so you know I'm evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess this is also the point where a lot of the people who are introduced, they have Robin Hood nicknames.
We're also introduced to one of the other major characters, Alan, who's like our white knight kind of guy. And I just want to point this out. While he's talking to Morgan and they're just like going over normal stuff for the day, one of the other knights offers him like a 90% eaten watermelon.
Yes.
And he's like, no thanks. And then he hands it to Tom Savini, who takes a bite of the rind. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like Alan is that he's sort of a I mean, Star Wars is a couple of years prior to this, and he has this weird Mark Hamill look to him.
He does. He has pre-accident Mark Hamill look going on.
It's everyone just looked like that in this era. That's just how people were.
Anyway, then we see our lady mechanic, Angie. I get real horny.
Yeah.
Huh? What?
It is baffling, and you know what really makes this movie feel dated?
What's that?
The mechanic chick is not a lesbian.
Oh, that's right.
You would not be able to get away with that these days. There's one specific knight she would be absolutely in a relationship with.
I mean, she would at least be bi. And it's like anyway.
Yeah, but bisexuals haven't been invented yet. They won't be invented for another 2 decades, I want to say.
Real.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so this is just like a sequence where we're going around getting introduced to all of these characters. We're introduced to like Little John, who is like their quartermaster, forge master. Tuck, who plays a Friar Tuck type character.
Yeah, we learned later that his real name is Tucker, and it's just a funny nickname that happens to be correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Morgan is actually Morgan's name. And he found out recently that Morgan Le Fay was a woman, and he's like, I don't care. It's still cool.
Yeah.
And it is.
Which, like, that's the exact kind of energy that these people have. It's like, they don't give a shit about accuracy or anything. They're just doing what's sick.
Yeah. It's cool, so they're going for it.
Yeah. And like after we've been introduced to all of these people, we get to see some cool stunt person action where they just wreck some bikes and hit each other with lances.
Yeah, the main event here, and the reason everybody shows up, is that these people get on motorcycles decked out in armor and fucking joust. And they are cruising and are just launching themselves off, and it is the most dangerous thing for the audience. It is the most dangerous thing for the writers. When they're not doing this, they're like riding around and swinging weapons at each other in like a free-for-all. It's crazy.
It is wild to see.
Yeah.
There's also some jesters who intermix with the action. There must have been so much coordination going on
There's
here.
so much crazy stunt work.
This podcast will never let me escape clown shit. I swear to God.
Yes.
I'm trapped by clowns.
Correct.
The more aware you are of clowns, the more you realize that clowns are everywhere. And there is no escape.
We're also introduced to a heavy mace, because most of their weapons are either lances that are cut to break in a correct manner, I guess, and weapons made out of rubber, except for this one, which is just a mace made out of iron.
Yeah, Morgan, Tom Savini's character, has a real fucking mace that he got from one of the other characters.
I get the sense that it's like an iron rod with a rubber tip, essentially, is like what the usual weapon is.
And the big conflict here, and this is kind of what sets the stage for the main conflict of the film, is that he's got this thing. It's got real heft to it. It could do actual damage to a person, and there is a fairly heated discussion here between the different knights about whether it's acceptable to use this thing that could actually seriously hurt somebody, or if they're just going to go for it because they're all crazy.
Yeah. Well, okay. Before we move past it, the other major thing about the safety here is that their plan for if somebody gets knocked off a motorcycle and the motorcycle keeps going is to just run it down and knock it over.
Yeah, which happens. You just go, is that motorcycle going to hit some people? Oh, no, they got it. Don't worry. It's fine.
Yeah.
Also, the people who are the spectators, there's men, women, and children. And the men, for some reason, are mostly slobs.
One of them is played by Stephen King.
Yes, it's great.
What?
Perhaps his greatest acting role.
That's amazing.
So, Liv, I don't know if you caught this. The guy that's like constantly talking about how it's fake.
That's Stephen King?
That's Stephen King.
That's Stephen King.
What the fuck?
He was pals with George Romero, and like they worked together after this on Creepshow.
God damn, so he was just tired of writing about how Maine is creepy and awful and went, I'm going to be an actor?
I wouldn't even call it a cameo.
No, it's just a cameo. He was just doing it because they were friends and like,
I wouldn't even call it a cameo. This is like a minor role. He has several lines. This is not a cameo.
This is a cameo.
Does.
Okay, whatever.
He never converses with another character.
Okay, fine.
He's just there to show up and say dumb shit.
And then there's another guy who matters a little bit to the story, who like just listens to a baseball game on the radio and falls asleep during this, which is like, what person wouldn't love this? But the reason he matters is that he is the father of another one of our minor characters, Julie, who's a townie that like hits it off with Alan, and they start making googly eyes at each other.
Yeah, it's one of those love plots that's like, it feels forced in the movie because
I disagree.
I don't think it serves a lot of purpose.
I disagree.
I'll say it's weird, but it's not necessarily random.
I have rarely seen a film where like every single aspect of the plot reinforces the main theme, and this is one of them. Like every single thing about what is happening in the script reinforces the main theme, reinforces the major ideas, which is that this troop, this act, this whole situation exists as an implicit resistance to capitalism.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I can see that, but I don't think that a lot of this. I hesitate to call her a character. How she enforces this?
She doesn't enforce it. She informs it through juxtaposition, and that That happens mostly later in the film, after in the third act. But
she's also showing us who joins this kind of thing and why. Yeah. And I think the weakest part of her arc is that she doesn't end up just like becoming one of them in the end.
Yeah, she's a hanger-on. We'd call them what do you call them?
A groupie?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's another thing. We get to see a cop showing up and trying to extort these people, this company.
Yeah, and this is where we get our first real introduction to King Billy, which is Ed Harris's character, which I think also King Billy as a name, great way of showing that like juxtaposition between
the modern and
that anachronism that this movie plays off of so well.
Yeah. So we get several different examples, illustrations of the themes of the film. The big one here is that this cop is like, well, you already have your permit to use the space and like everything's squared away, but I want my palms greased a little bit.
Yeah, I want to be paid off.
Yeah, and Morgan's like, just pay him. It's fine. Like, we don't want to pay the money, but like, just pay him, move on with our lives. Whereas Billy is like, no, it's not about the money. It's about the principle. He doesn't have the right to tell us to do this. And so he refuses to pay the cop, sends him off.
Yeah, he calls the cop a chicken shit and tells him to leave.
It's great but this is also one of the things where you can really date the movie, because a modern movie would really, really hesitate to show a cop being a bad guy, period. This cop doesn't have any redeemable features or characters. He's just a piece of shit. A corrupt one at that.
But also, Romero was just this guy. Like, Romero did this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and we love to see it. It's just if this was made today, someone would have went like, oh yeah, he's a bad cop, but he's doing it for the right reasons. And this is like, just no, cops are bad, period. And we stand that.
Yeah.
This is the official stance of this podcast is, of course, that all cops are bastards.
Yes, I agree.
Yes.
Anyway, so we get some really sick motorcycle stunts. Morgan beats the shit out of one of the other knights, and then Billy rides in to challenge him as well. And we get some like lore about how this whole thing works. If anyone beats Billy in a contest, they get to be king. And Morgan has been like besting him consistently, but never getting him to surrender because he's got his ride or dies that will like rescue him if he falls off his bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they've established their own separate like teams in here, and it becomes very relevant over the course of this. But every time King Billy goes down, he has an army of knights that come in and bail him out, basically.
Yeah,
and he's been losing lately. It's kind of implied because he keeps taking nasty knocks when he's out there and not giving himself a chance to recover. He just gets out there. And
so in this fall down, he gets like scissored on his neck by the armor, the like shoulder plate and that helmet, and it like takes a chunk out of his neck.
Yeah,
that's
gnarly.
a wild injury.
Yeah.
So he gets taken to one of like the medical tents and sewn up by Merlin, who is their combination doctor and mystic.
He is a medical doctor.
Yeah. And
you can tell that this guy is not playing
Yeah, I want to talk about I want to talk about this quote unquote actor. Like, this guy is not acting. This is just this guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, painted up in butterflies and a big flowy robe, and then he's just gonna go, yeah, I'm just gonna put up some glove and just sew you up.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that he didn't even have any scripted lines. They just let him go in there and be the way he was.
He did.
He's the most authentic character I've ever seen.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. And like he talks after sewing up Billy, he gives him, it's not a pep talk, it's more like, hey, maybe you should like stand back and let Morgan take this because you're killing yourself and like you're on a one-way train, a one-way motorcycle ride to being a dead man. And he speaks of destiny in, let's hear it.
You freak out, drop your guard, and the caboose, ow, he gets you. Maybe that's my destiny. Big D, destiny will mess with you.
Like, what?
I want the big D.
One of these days, the probabilities are going to catch up to him. The black bird is going to get him.
Yeah, so Billy has been having a dream where a black bird gets him, whatever that means. It's not quite clear. But Billy interprets this as beating him or killing him. It's one of those. And Merlin is like, well, if you keep behaving this way every time something reminds you of the Omen, it's going to get you. You're like giving it the opportunity to get you.
Yeah. And then after this wonderful performance of people beating the shit out of each other on motorcycles, it's sort of a free-for-all where other people can come in and have some fun as well. Just members of the public.
Yeah,
And
just letting random people come in.
Oh, and
Nazi bikers come in.
Wait,
Yeah.
we missed the introduction of one of the most important characters in the film, Rocky.
Yes.
Rocky, or Dame Rocky, is our female knight. And she kicks ass.
She is
Like,
so fucking cool.
She kicks ass, she has long blonde hair, and is a lesbian.
Oh yeah, straight up textual lesbian. She has a girlfriend. They fuck. Not on screen. And she like kicks people's asses. She loses sometimes, of course, but she always does it gracefully, and she kicks ass. It's
the
so
thing
good.
is, in this movie, everyone loses at some point, and the movie is always very clear that they are not taking it badly. They are having so much fun out there. Even here in this initial sequence where they're doing the first big brawl, when Tom Savini ends up losing because Ed Harris's posse shows up to bail him out, like, he's not pissed. He's having the time of his life. He is so happy with what's going on.
Yeah, so he jumps off his bike and goes to like make sure that Billy is okay after his fall, which he is. He's up and about again. And they do like a Beast Rider handshake.
Yeah.
It's sick. I love it. Then while they're doing this, a kid shows up and is like, "Hey, Billy Davis," that's his last name, "can you sign your picture in the magazine?" And Billy's like, "What is this magazine? What is going on?" And he realizes that they've done a spread on him at one of the previous shows, and he hates it. He's like, "This is Evil Knievel shit. I am not Evil Knievel. I am like living my authentic life out here. I am not putting on a character. I will not sign this." And then Morgan's like, "I'll do it on the next game."
It is kind of funny though. It's like, he's like, "I'm not an entertainer. I'm doing this for real."
Yeah.
He's fully committed to the lifestyle.
Yeah. Billy lives this shit and believes this shit.
Well, one more thing about the members of the public joining into the fight. This movie, the text of this movie hates Nazis. It's great. It's not like, oh no, like the alt-right is bad. It's just, you're a Nazi and you're a piece of shit who should die.
Yeah, the film hates Nazis and everybody in the film hates Nazis.
It's great.
Yeah, the Nazis show up and steal a couple weapons and ride around for a bit before leaving, and get chased by the Knights. One of them is just like, "I just want my weapon back. Just give me the weapon back." He gets the weapon back, compliments the guy on his riding, and then tells him to look out for the barn. He looks ahead of him, and we get this like slapstick bit of like, "Whoa!" And then he turns, drives through a bunch of signs on the side of the road, through like some farmer that's like selling produce by the side of the road, and straight into a river. And it's the silliest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. And then right next to that, the Nazis just die. It's great.
The other one is run down by Rocky, who just like is geared up and ready to joust his ass. She somehow got ahead of him and is just like charging him with it.
Yeah, he freaks out, like falls off his bike. The bike, his motorcycle then goes off the road and explodes for no reason, and he starts crying.
Yes,
it's great.
And then Rocky starts taunting him
at him because she gloats at everyone all the time, and I love her so much.
Yeah,
she's such a shit talker.
That's sort of the end of the day's show, right there. And so now we get a sense of what this place is, and it's
what
crazy.
These people are about. Although we have a sense of like what the different people are about, but they're about really different things, because Morgan is an entertainer. He's there to put on a show, have a good time with his friends, and play pretend. King Billy, on the other hand,
you're his hero.
I'm not trying to be a hero. I'm fighting the dragon.
It's so much, especially because both myself and Annie, when we saw this, and I'm sure you agree, Annie, please confirm that you agree.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we thought, oh, this is going to be about heroin. Now we're into like the B plot
where did you get that? Where did you get that?
riding the
fighting-
dragon.
Yeah, riding the dragon means
There's
doing
not a
heroin.
normal direction to go when you hear somebody in armor mention a dragon.
I thought that he was gonna have a heroin addiction.
Yeah, same.
No,
I was like,
Oh
okay,
my
and then
gosh.
that's not brought up. But that becomes a little bit of a narrative problem because this is brought up and then it's not really followed up on. So he's fighting the
alternatively-
dragon, and the dragon is
because he's not talking about
society.
drugs. You are going off on a bizarre fucking tangent there.
Yeah.
It's
It's not
nothing
drugs.
to do with the movie.
Clearly, as we know from Glen or Glenda, the dragon is dysphoria. He's
He's trying not to transition.
No, he's a trans man.
Oh, okay.
He has transitioned and he's living his authentic life now.
That's so awesome for him.
That's why it's such a queer-friendly group.
Mm.
No.
No,
The
but
dragon
there
is the dragon is the pressures of society. He is
It
trying
is
to live.
capitalism.
Yes, he's trying to live an
wants to
authentic
be
life.
a hobo who rides a motorcycle and joust, and
He
that's
wants
just
to be
incompatible with capitalism.
He wants to be the guy that sets up across the street from the real Ren Fair and gets together with his buddies to try to kill each other. And that's I respect that as art so much.
Yeah. And also regarding the him fighting the dragon, I respect a thesis statement in the first half of the film. Too many
Hell
movies
yes.
don't do it until the very end. But he's not a hero. He's fighting the dragon. He doesn't want people to follow him. His whole thing is I'm going to do what I'm going to do. If people are attracted to that, great. But I am not an example. I am just me. And that's his conflict in the film, accepting that and reckoning with that.
And there's a little bit of a self-insert here on Romero's part because he was a fiercely independent filmmaker for much of his career, and could have probably taken a lot more money and gone and done studio shit after Night of the Living Dead, but didn't, and remained in a position of creative control, doing weird shit that was interesting. And so, there's that element here of these people being kind of analogous to his own situation of trying to make it work being an artist and not just selling a product.
Yeah. And that's what this movie is. This movie is Romero dealing with those feelings. It's saying
It's
a
so
lot.
cool. There's so much in this movie. There's so much to dig into. And it also has dudes knocking each other off of motorcycles at speed. It's perfect.
So then we get the queer awakening of Knightriders in a campfire scene.
Yeah, they're all having a big party.
Yeah, they're chilling
in the woods after they've finished. Everyone's having a great time.
It's sort of implied that they do this every evening after a show, which it's goals. It's so wholesome and it's goals. They're singing songs while doing the dishes. It's fun.
Yeah, it's amazing. They're having so much fun.
They're having a really good time. And going to the queer awakening, it's a character named Pip.
So Tom Savini is sitting there telling they're in that stage of the night where they're all pretty fucked up and are getting into the real talk. And Tom Savini's character is sitting there saying that he only ever really cared about the bikes. This was about the bikes to him. He loves riding. And, the rest of this is something really cool that he gets to do on the bikes. This is how he lives.
Yeah.
And then says something super homophobic about Pip, saying that Pip has always known he was a woman. Basically calling him out on being gay.
Yeah, and then so Morgan says that and everyone gets quiet. Everyone's like, dude, not cool. And then Angie, who is Pip's best friend, oh my God, it's so not cool.
She has a moment where she lets the autism get the best of her. She says something she perhaps should not.
In front of the entire campfire, she's like, Pip, are you gay?
Yeah, it's okay. Just admit to me that you're gay. It's fine.
Here, in front of everyone.
And then Pip is in a really strained voice, can we discuss this later? Which he's like, And she's like, but you're my best friend. And it's like, he's not saying that he doesn't want to talk to you about it. He's saying he doesn't want to talk to you about it in front of everybody.
Right. Like, it's a very personal thing. Why would you like call him out over it in front of everyone?
Yeah, like, and please don't out people in front of everyone else. It's uncool.
But the thing is, this movie, importantly, is aware of the fact that what she's doing is wrong, and it's going to come back up later.
Yeah. She asked like 3 or 4 times, and Julie, the townie that is still with them, she's still hanging out with them, just like turns to Alan and goes like, God, like this woman is not getting a hint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she just keeps asking, and then Pip is finally like, I don't know if I'm gay. Okay? I don't know.
Yeah, which valid. A lot of us has been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're doing the thing here where they also point out that Rocky, very gay woman, kicks fucking ass and everyone's terrified of her.
Yeah. And Rocky's whole thing is like, well, I know who I am and I'm open about it and confident in it. And that's why nobody like bothers me about it. And Pip, the reason people bother you about this is because you're so unsure and have doubt about who you are, which is once again reinforcing the themes of the film about like living authentically. That's that's what everything comes back to. But I think this is a little premature in your queer awakening to have this conversation in front of everybody. This one little thing could definitely be handled better by the film, but it is still reinforcing the thesis.
Yeah, but also for the time period this film is made in, it is way ahead of its time. And in many ways, I would say that we've regressed.
Yes, I would say by contemporary standards, this film is great on its queer representation. And in the 80s, this was like mind-blowingly progressive.
Yeah. Well, and this is a very real conversation. Like it feels very natural. It feels like a conversation that's actually happening between people. I have, been there for this kind of conversation happening around a campfire before. It works really well. And, like I said, it's going to come back up again fairly soon. And like this is not done. This is the film is aware of what's going on in this scene, and these issues are going to be addressed like the next time we see these characters together.
Yeah, but no time for that. The cops are back.
Yes.
Yeah, the cops are back. Oh,
so the corrupt cop like rolls into the camp with his lights off, and Tuck is like blasted in his truck and sees this and like slowly slinks away and starts telling people that the cops are here.
Oh, yeah. I think is this where he says,
Oh, Jesus, that's a swine.
I smell bacon.
It's a swine, man.
Yes.
It's so good. The swines.
Yeah, so the cops show up and do some unlawful search and seizure of vehicles and persons.
Oh, and the way they do it is so fucked up. So they knock on one of the trailers, and Bagman is sleeping in this trailer. We don't really ever find out who Bagman is. He seems like a cool guy.
Bagman. He's just Bagman.
Yeah, presumably he's the Hideo Kojima style character who is holding the bag.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if he's like one of the money guys for the camp.
It is unclear.
Yeah.
He's not a character in this.
He's not a
character. It's weird that they even gave him a name.
Yeah. But he's like, they're like, oh, we got word that there's unlawful substances in this trailer. And he's like, you got a warrant? And the cop pulls out his gun and points it at Bagman and is like, here's my warrant.
Yeah.
It's like in the modern day, this would be like, okay, 20 cameras are now filming you.
Right.
So he goes into the cabin or into the trailer, finds some weed, and Bagman then looks at Billy, who's shown up, and is like, it's a plant, Billy. And it's like, yeah, it's weed. Of course it's a plant. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it feels kind of like a throwback to earlier movies and just earlier weed culture, where it's like, why is this illegal? It's a plant. It's like Natural Man.
Oh no!
But
he was saying that the cop planted it in his trailer, and I was making a very dumb joke.
Oh, I'm an idiot. I didn't pick up on that at all.
You're fine. I didn't pick it up at the first time I saw this movie either. I didn't realize that's what was going on until the second time. Because the first time I was just like, Huh? What? Yeah, it is a plant.
That's what I get for only watching this movie once. Shame on me.
Yeah, you missed so much. You have to watch it again after we were finished recording.
But the cop is then like, I mean, we can figure out an informal bail arrangement. He wants money again. He just wants to extort these poor beatniks in the forest for money for some goddamn reason.
Yeah.
He's desperate
to do.
He is desperate to get hippies to give him some money.
Yeah.
Yeah, because cops are bad, and that's what we are meant to understand here.
And they are correct for that.
Yes, absolutely. But Billy is like, I'm not going to pay you, and you're also not going to go to jail by yourself. If you're going to go to jail, I'm going to go to jail with you. And so that's what happens. Morgan, it should be stated, shows up and is like, just pay the man. And Billy's like, it's wrong.
Yeah, we have a rehash of the just fucking pay him situation.
Yeah, once again, this movie does not miss an opportunity to reinforce its themes.
Yeah.
So they go to jail, and then like, this is a problem now because everyone wants to go to the next city, I think Lawrence, Pennsylvania, to set up the next show because that's how they make their money.
Yeah, they're booked in, they're ready, they have to follow the schedule, otherwise this whole,
they'll lose money. They'll lose a lot of money.
Yeah. Basically their way of life is
their way of life is dependent on moving and doing shows and making like getting enough money to live on.
Yeah, and they're like just making ends meet, basically.
Yeah. So Billy then tells everyone to wait until he gets back, and the moment he's gone with the cops, Lynette is like, "Yeah, fuck that," and she's like, she really shows that she is the managerial. She's the managerial powerhouse behind this outfit. She's like, you go to Lawrence and find Steve, our lawyer, who sets things up before we get there, so that he can help Billy get out. You like go talk to the sheriff who signed our permit in the first place and like has been out of contact. And then everyone else, like, it's tear up camp in the next hour. We're going to Lawrence tonight. Like, I really like this scene. I wish that we saw more of Lynette being this character. This is the only scene where it happens.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So then we then cut to, I think
there is something just to dwell on it for a second. There is something to be said about her being the organizing driving force that keeps the troop together in this manner. I mean, this is clearly not the first time this has happened, and also not the first time that she's done this, like based on the way she's handling everything. And it is kind of interesting to see that Billy is sort of this fantastical creature who he plays king and tries to live in this weird disconnected fantasy world, and she's the one who actually gets it done.
Yeah.
And
like clearly everyone is used to listening to her. That is also communicated in this scene.
Yeah.
But then we cut to the jail where the cops are beating the ever-loving shit out of Bagman.
Yeah, he's getting fucked.
And Billy is just like in the next cell screaming, which it's honestly kind of a heartbreaking scene. Very well acted by Ed Harris.
Very violent.
Yeah. They eventually stop the beating, and we then cut to elsewhere. Julie and Alan, because Julie lives in this town, she's a local, she has gone to the sheriff's house to talk to him, and she's talking to his wife, who's like, he's up at Pleasant Canyon or whatever it's called. I don't know, like fishing. Yeah. He's gone for the weekend, which is why all of this stuff is happening. But as she's running off, she's like, you know better than to wake people up at 4 a.m, Julie. Why are you getting on a motorcycle? Them things is damnable, Julie. Like,
maybe the greatest line in the movie.
Them things is damnable! Damnable!
Yeah. Oh my god.
Damnable.
Anyway, so it's just like, mind your own fucking business, Karen. Jesus. It's not your business.
She's running off with the fucking Ren Fair people.
Yeah. She's trying to help them get their friend out of jail.
Yeah, it's a little bit of teenage rebellion.
Yeah. Although it's not really clear how old these characters are.
Yeah. They're all like in their like 20s or 30s, I think.
Yeah, how old is Julie? I don't know.
I I'm choosing to believe that she is 22. This is a number I have completely made up.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think the
It's-
woman playing her is actually in like her early 20s. So,
But like looking, we get to see her teenage bedroom in one scene, and it looks like she's in her early 20s, possibly.
I hope so.
I also hope so. I mean, if this movie was made in the 70s and not the 80s, she would have been 16
No.
or younger.
fortunately, there is no solid hint made to her age. So, we're free to speculate that she is a normal age.
Whatever normal means for you.
Yes.
Yeah. Hello, dear friends. Sweet friends. Beautiful friends. We here at Art Should Be Illegal would really appreciate it if you could thumb our pod. If you look at the pod right now, you might see that the pod thumb number is tragically unthumbed. And if the pod's unthumbed, then the thumb won't go out to other pods where the pod thumbers can thumb the pod. And we demand, we require, we beg to get our pod thumbed. So please, thumb our pod. Also, like, jingle the bell and subscribe, whatever the hell other people say. I don't know. I just want my thumb podded. My pod thumbed? Whichever.
So yeah, they're driving to the next town, and Pip and the mechanic lady,
Angie.
are driving together, and now we get the like, hey, what the fuck were you doing last night? Why were you being like that?
Yeah. And Angie is like saying that you're my friend. You can't talk to me. She's just being a bad friend here.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that foot is just directly in her mouth.
Yeah. And then Pip starts like making fun of her. Well, not even making fun of her, just like calling out her shit for like pining over Morgan, who constantly cheats on her. Because they're an item. Sort of. And she's like, that's not fair. You can't say that about me. And he's like, but you can say shit about me? And she's like, I'm just trying to understand you better. You're my best friend. And it's like, you're being a really bad friend here.
Yeah.
But she does like wear him down into admitting like, I don't feel like I fit in anywhere and I don't know where my life is going. I don't know what I'm doing in life. Once again, reinforcing the themes of the movie about like living your authentic self.
Yeah. And this is also where he ends up coming out to her.
Yeah. Yeah. He definitively says like, yeah, I'm gay. Good for him.
Yeah. We love Pip.
So then they run into one of my favorite characters in the movie on the road, Steve.
Yeah.
We're introduced to their lawyer, and he's also not really a character.
I disagree. I love Steve. I think he is a pretty two-dimensional character, but I really like what he's doing for the themes of the movie. And I'll get into it in the scene where he's talking to Billy.
Okay.
And Merlin.
Perfect. So then they miraculously get in touch with the sheriff, I guess, off screen, and he comes back.
So it's implied that Julian Allen like drove the 2 hours up to where he's been fishing. Because he's still in his fishing gear.
Yeah. He's still, it's the next morning and he's still in fishing gear. So it's like, oh, okay. He hurried right back.
Yeah. And he's
in there chewing the fucking cop out.
Yeah. I think this is also pretty weak for the themes. Like this sheriff is on their side. That doesn't fit the greater themes of society being against them, but it's necessary for the plot. It's fine.
Yeah. This kind of just moves the plot forward. We have Ed Harris threaten to wipe the cop out, which is maybe not the best dialogue choice. I don't know. It just seems like a weak way to show that he's going to, I don't know, maybe try to murder this guy later on.
Yeah, he threatens the shit out of this cop, and it's like, you better keep an eye out for me because I'm coming for you. Like, okay, say that in front of the sheriff, why don't you?
Yeah, hell yes.
The sheriff, I think, is just trying to keep the department from getting sued.
Yeah, very much so. So then this like little group ends up heading up towards Lawrence as well. And Billy's pissed that they didn't stay where they were waiting for him.
Yeah. Interesting interesting thing on his part there. Maybe not him at his smartest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel like he's more worried about not being an authority in their troop than.
Well, he is the
king.
He's the king. They have to listen to him.
Yeah, but like he's not the true power of their troop.
Yeah. Julie and Alan go by Julie's house real quick to pick up her stuff because she's going with them. She's outie, and we see that Julie's dad has beaten her mom.
Which
that's cool.
It's not. I don't remember it being commented upon.
They the camera comments
silently.
on it. Yeah.
It's like ugh.
They just kind of leave. It's like, you're not going to call the cops about this? You're not going to get this man put away? Okay. Is this just the 80s being the 80s?
Yeah, a little bit. Also, there is, I don't know, potentially an issue there of just like, that is a complicated situation.
Yeah.
And we've seen the cops in this town. There's maybe not a lot of reason to believe that they are going to do anything helpful. And we don't want a situation here where she ends up homeless. So...
Or dead.
Yeah, or dead. And it's a shit deal.
Yeah. So then we cut up to Lawrence. Angie and Pip are like putting up flyers for the next show. Because, we start seeing a little bit of their routine. They like advertise the show, then they sell tickets, and then, the show happens. But while they're putting up flyers, they get accosted by a couple of promoters that it seems Steve had talked to when he was like setting everything up for them. And one of them is named Joe Bontempi, which is Italian for good time. But he's played by, I don't know the actor's name, but he's played by the same actor that plays the lawyer in Jurassic Park that gets eaten while he's on the can.
Oh,
did
hell
that guy
yes.
ever play anything else? Did he just play like an agent or a lawyer in a couple of movies and then vanish entirely? I don't think I've ever seen him in anything else.
I guess he plays just scumbags exclusively.
He's got a great look for a scumbag, and you got to appreciate it.
He does.
Okay, but the main people are Sheila, who's like, she does magazine spreads mostly, and then Joe, who does like promotion. He gets people into shows. He keeps talking about Las Vegas, and they're all from Washington, D.C. for some reason. And then there's Judy, who's a photographer, also there.
I think they're from Washington because they're meant to be sleaze bags.
They all give sleazebag energy. Like it's very well done. You definitely get that from them. But yes, as I said, they had been talking to Steve, and Steve is like, setting this up for them.
So they are having this like parade, I guess, before their event, which...
Yeah, a little bit of promotion.
Yeah.
It's a very gay little parade.
Such a gay little parade.
I love it. They have floats, which are just their vans, and they have motorcycles, and they're just like juggling. Like their little clown guy that keeps showing up is juggling.
Yeah.
They're throwing flowers. It's great. And they're selling tickets the whole time.
Yeah, that is the main thing here. They gotta sell tickets to their show so they can actually keep living.
Yeah, and then Morgan and Sheila are just eye-fucking the shit out of each other while this is happening. They're like into each other hard.
Yeah, and so we get back to camp that night.
Billy's camp.
Yeah.
They're like on the road to Lawrence right now because they're like a day behind.
Right.
They ran into Steve on the road. Steve is like, I have not slept in 2 days. Can we like make camp? You got some weed. I fucking love. So I love Steve. And this is the scene where we get the most of Steve. And what we get from him is like, he is not in their community. He worked with them. He likes them. And he says like, hanging out with you guys is the most fun part of my life. Like he gets a lot out of working with them and he cares a lot about them, but he is like not a part of their community ultimately.
Do we ever get to see him outside of this community, or is he just portrayed as a hanger, like a loose hanger on?
He's a bit of a hanger on.
Yeah, he's just kind of someone that is affiliated with them. He's the most normal person in this movie.
Yeah. He's kind of there to illustrate the whole thing. I disagree. I think Judy and Tuck are the most normal people in this movie.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so he's kind of there to illustrate like the type of person that loves what they do, wants to be a part of it, but does not want to buy into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want to live the lifestyle.
Yeah, he and Julie are sort of the two sides of that coin. And Julie has a bit more to do later in the film. And this is Steve's scene. Like every single part of this film is adding dimensionality to the major themes of the film.
This movie is 2.5 hours long, but every one of these scenes is focused on moving the plot forward and reinforcing and defining these themes.
Yeah. So they have like a really important discussion about money. So Bagman is talking about money. He's like, it's money, Billy. It's all money. Money makes the world go around. Basically saying like, yeah, we live like this and we love living like this, but we have to survive, right? We have to be able to have money to eat and have shelter and exist in a world where that's necessary. And then Billy rejects this outright. He's like, it's tough to live by something you believe in. People get tired of their diets or their kids or themselves or their God. And he's like just going off on how people don't stand by the things that they believe in. And he's like, don't ask me to say that it's okay. It's not okay. What the world does to us. He's sick of people looking to him as some kind of leader. He just wants to live his life, live by his own ideals, and everyone else should live by their ideals.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a sovereign citizen.
He is. I mean, he is desperately trying to escape capitalism by any means possible. And unfortunately, that means, completely disconnecting from society and unfortunately reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can't disconnect from the society you live in. It's not going to be possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can try and live in a fantasy world where you're a king, but at some point you got to have parts for your motorcycle.
Yeah. Bagman talks a bit about that. He's talking about how like the fight for your ideals has to take a backseat to the fight for like being alive for food.
Yeah.
And he mentions how he was in a similar situation to the police station like several years previous in Alabama, where he was in jail for something, and he was getting the shit beat out of him for not being a racist.
Yeah.
And like he tried to kill himself afterwards because he's like, I don't see the point in living. And then he says that last night when I was getting the shit beat out of me, I came up laughing because now my heart is full. I feel like I'm living for something. And like he's saying, don't let that die because we're too defined by our ideals. There are two fights happening and you have to fight both fights.
Yeah, exactly. This movie does not believe in subtext. This movie is just laying it all out there.
It is.
But the thing is, it all feels natural. Like this is not a purely thematic conversation that is happening. Like these are real conversations that these people are having about how are they supposed to continue living. Like these are material conversations.
Yeah, they feel like they were lifted directly out of actual conversations people had about, making this shit work.
Yeah.
Which is such a constant problem,
Yeah. And then Billy steals Steve's motorcycle and rides off.
Yes.
Yeah, and Steve is just like, whatever.
Yeah. Going back to the capitalism thing here, Billy wants to disconnect here, and they keep coming back to this point about Billy having kind of a death wish, and this starts getting established earlier when they're having the first tournament, but it comes up in here too that like Billy's desire to escape from capitalism and his death wish are exactly the same drive. He is killing himself with what he's doing, but he is passionate about what he's doing. This is his art. This is his thing. This is his entire life. If he loses this, that is also a form of death.
Well, but because he says at one point, there aren't two different fights, referring back to what Bagman said. He's like, if you die, your ideals don't die with you. Like, what the fuck? Like, okay, dude. Okay, man.
But of course, the stakes here are weirdly low at the same time because it's very real and very serious for these characters, but at the same time, like they are riding motorcycles and whacking each other with foam swords.
Yes, the most serious consequence is they have to go get real jobs.
Yes. Which,
like, I feel for them not wanting to do that, but like worse things have happened.
Right? I think that's part of the charm of this movie.
Yeah. We cut to an incredible scene. So Tuck and Judy have hit it off. And
they have been getting it on.
Tuck has got insane fucking game. This guy knows how to party. This guy can get the fuck down.
We see 2 plus-size Americans hanging out in a trailer, eating gooey pizza, drinking wine with a man in a devil hood playing harmonica. It is so good.
Yes, it's incredible. It's the most hedonistic scene I've ever seen.
Like, that could be me. That could be me. Why isn't that me? It's so good. But they are having like a council meeting right outside this trailer.
Yes. And, Billy comes rolling up and he is fucking livid. This is maybe the angriest we see him in this movie.
He has no chill. He has no fucking chill. He's like, how are you having a council meeting without everyone here?
Yeah. None of the main like characters are here. It's kind of just like I guess it's just like Morgan and his buds, and that's pretty much it.
It is an interesting conflict, though, that there's like the fantastical, the king, and all that shit against some people who are trying desperately to make a living.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is, and you know, to an extent, this is that other group that exists within the other subgroup kind of plotting against him.
Well, this is where we get into Annie being the largest nerd on this podcast. This film is about Hegelian dialectics.
Okay.
Say more.
Okay. So we have our thesis, which is Billy's viewpoint, that we have to live by our ideals no matter what. We have to live authentically to the exclusion of our material needs, right? If we don't stand by our material needs, then we may as well be dead, right? So if we materially die, then we spiritually die as well. So we should stand by our spiritual needs. Morgan is the antithesis to this. We should do whatever is necessary in order to improve our material position. We find that he is all in for like the promoter getting on these like big time circuit to make a lot of money, right? So these are 2 juxtaposing ideas. And then ultimately we find the synthesis of those ideas. That's what the movie's about.
Fair. Okay, I'll give you that. You are a nerd for thinking about that, but I appreciate it.
I mean, in the same vein, we find Billy and Morgan have really strong Lenin and Stalin vibes.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I'll say, like, the pitch that the agents are giving them isn't a bad one. This isn't like a repulsive pitch. Like the pitch here is you take like a chunk out of the summer, go do like
state fairs,
4 or 5 or 6 of these like big state fair events where you can bring in a big chunk of money, and then go fuck off and do whatever you want for the rest of the year. You don't have to worry about money because you made your whole year's worth of money in like a month.
Yeah.
And so it's like, this is a really good pitch.
It is, because this is also where it's revealed that this is an enormous problem for this troupe, that they really, really trying to make, how can I put this? They have constant money problems, and this could be a way out of it so that they could actually fulfill their dreams of being knights and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Morgan is all in on this idea. Billy is 100% against it. Conflict.
Yeah. And so Billy rolls up while they're talking about this, and he freaks the fuck out. A guy tells him he needs to cool it, and he tries to hit him with a $20 fine, triggering everyone there to just quit the group completely. And now his kingdom is falling apart. There's a full rebellion.
It is a little weird, though, that Billy and his fantastical world is suddenly also a capitalist one, because he goes like, oh yeah, you all follow me and my authority because I'm the king and I haven't been bested in battle, but also I can impose fines on you.
Yeah, he has the power. He has material power over them.
Yeah, he does, but like it's a weird contrast between all of the jousting and like the fantastical. It's very grounded.
Yeah. We're seeing all this like real life bullshit intrude on their fantasy. There is no escaping it, and even he is affected by it.
Yeah.
Although I really need to interject real fast. So Billy goes into the trailer that Tuck and Judy are in and breaks up their fuck party, which is like not cool, dude.
Yes,
but
super uncool.
He takes their pizza.
Their gooey pizza.
Yeah, he steals their gooey pizza. He's like, Tuck, there is a council meeting going on right outside and you're not there. What the fuck, man? And then he leaves and Tuck is like, close the goddamn door. Billy slams it shut like a dickhead, and then he throws the food at Bontempi, who's just like, I didn't order this.
Yeah. The only thing he has to say is, I didn't order this, when he's getting hit with a fucking pizza.
Yeah.
It is such a baffling line.
It is bizarre.
We should have had the audio drop for that. I might have to add that in post.
Yeah, I didn't order this.
I didn't order this. It's amazing.
We get a little bit of conversation between Billy and Lynn. Lynn talks about how she like gave up on fantasies, but then Billy like convinced her to live like ideals again, and she says like, I'm vulnerable again, and now you tell me it can't be done.
Yeah, like he kind of ushered this fantasy in for all of these characters, right? Like he believes in this so much that it is infected other people who had normal lives at one time.
Yeah, what we're kind of getting is that Billy was the right person to create this atmosphere, but he's not the right person to manage it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, fuck, the pictures are great. I love it.
Gotta love the pictures. They do it all.
So then Morgan and his posse are talking to Bontempi. They're gonna like cut and run and go do the deal themselves. Bors is another one of the knights. He's sad. He's leaving. He's just like, man, I don't fucking know. I'm not going with Morgan. He's a dick. I just got to ride.
Question, in this part of the movie, is this the first movie ever to do all right?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
People usually think of Matthew McConaughey doing it, but we absolutely get an all right in this.
Sure.
I just think it's important to call attention to this.
Sure, fam.
Moving on.
We get the last battle before everyone is gonna leave. And so Billy's just like, it's gonna be good. We're gonna make it a good one. Disco music starts playing.
They've got their trumpeters there, and the trumpets aren't real. So they have a guy in a truck who's just playing back a tape of trumpets.
Yeah, he's just playing a drop.
He quits, and you can, during this, like, they're trying to put on a good show, but you can see things falling apart, and you can see this, like, you can see capitalism intruding on their fantasy as this guy quits his job by putting in a disco tape and putting on disco while these guys are jousting and beating the shit out of each other, and the crowd is losing their fucking shit. They are
wild.
So into this.
They love it.
Yeah, they thought
amazing.
It's the early 80s, and they thought the disco was over, and then it's back, and they go wild for that shit.
Yeah. This disco is back for one day.
A woman gets fucking obliterated by a motorcycle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So one of the motorcycles, somebody falls off of it and it goes riding, and there's nobody there to stop it by running it down. And it just like it blasts.
It's barreling straight at a
right into
baby.
her. Yeah.
And it like hits a ramp and then smacks the woman in the face. And it's not super convincing looking, but it's also kind of gnarly.
Oh, yeah. Like, the woman is dead. She's unconscious on the ground.
Yeah.
She's not dead in the text of the film. I'm just saying, like, if you got hit like that by a motorcycle, you're dead.
Yeah, it's game over. And I mean, even if she does live, she's gonna be unconscious for hours now. It's not good.
Yeah, and their little clown, like, takes the baby.
Yeah, but before this, there's also a funny little bit of dialogue here where they're having the argument where Tom Savini is sick of Billy's shit and they're getting ready to leave after they're done with this tournament. And I've now forgotten her name again, but the mechanic chick.
Angie,
yeah, that's right, Angie. Is like, no, I'm not going. You're all gonna be back in 2 weeks.
Damn.
She's just calling them out on like, you cannot stay away. Like,
yeah,
this group needs each other, and
and she's like, if I'm gonna be like waiting for you, I'd rather do it here where I have my friends.
Right.
It's like, damn. And the thing is, he is appealing to her by like, I need a mechanic. Which wrong play, guy.
Yeah, he
wrong
is
play,
thinking
my
about,
brother.
he is once again thinking about the bikes first. The thing that he cares about is he is a bike cell.
He's bisexual. He's fucking the bikes.
He's bisexual.
Yeah.
He does not care about women. He cares about bikes. Women are just a way for this man to get to more bikes.
Yeah, like he's fucking Angie because she fixes the bikes.
Yes.
And like if he fucks her good enough, she'll do it for free for him, and then he can fuck the bikes.
Yes.
Yeah. Her mechanic sled is a cuck chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's sliding under the bike to get a better view of his penis going into the exhaust.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Well, that one went somewhere.
Yeah, that was such a sentence.
So Rocky just straight up fucking baseball bats someone with a lance off of the bike.
Yeah, she loses her bike, and you're not out just losing your bike. So she's like trying to get another bike and just like it picks up a broken lance and just like wrecks some dude's shit. It's so good. He's midair and just gets crushed by that.
Yeah, Pip and another character I don't remember the name of. It's like Rock or Rook or something. They agree to fuck each other.
Yeah, and Pip accidentally announces it over the PA.
Yeah,
it's great. It's a very cute little scene.
It is, and it's not played for laughs. It's just like a little
Well, I mean the over the intercom part is.
Yeah, over the intercom is absolutely a joke, but like, yeah, no, it's now Pip is being his authentic self and is, finding that community there within the community. And his life has already started to improve. Yeah.
Then the Blackbird shows up.
Yes.
Oh no.
But this time it's a man on a motorcycle.
Yeah, it's a guy on a motorcycle with like a bird crest on his chest. Who I have a lot to say about this character.
Yeah, and this is probably the weirdest part of the symbolism that I don't know how I feel about this guy, honestly.
Well, like what I get is that he's like Billy has interpreted the Blackbird as a harbinger of death, but in actuality, the Blackbird is a harbinger of change. Which destruction and change are often misconstrued for one another. There's a lot of philosophy and literature talking about this theme. And I guess Romero is fond of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we get like 10 minutes of just like people continuing to beat the shit out of each other. Yeah, 6 stunts. It's great.
The action sequences in this are so long. Every one of them is like 5 minutes of just the coolest shit. It's so good. This movie wants to make sure that you are rewarded for sitting through all the dialogue.
Yeah, it's just guys getting flung off of motorcycles. It's so good.
And I often am. I feel rewarded every time.
There's this one specific stunt that they like to do in this, where somebody will be riding at speed and like somebody else will like just jam a sword into the fucking front wheel of the bike, and it'll go
flying. It goes
hard stop and just fling the rider off. It looks so painful.
and yet the stuntmen love it. They're getting enriched.
Oh, it's probably so much fun to do it.
Yeah, they're having enrichment.
Whatever the move is there that they're pulling, it's probably safe enough and only kind of hurts that it's 100% worth it and like the coolest thing you'd ever do.
Then the fight ends. I don't even remember who wins this fight. It doesn't matter. Everyone
it really doesn't.
Fucks off. Like everyone's like, that was it. We're done. We're leaving.
In the end, everyone kind of loses. Like people are taking hard shots here. Like blood is coming out. It gets kind of gnarly. It's a very cool scene, but you can see things kind of falling apart, and everyone looks like shit at the end. I think what ends up happening is the fucking Billy wins. The Blackbird comes in and is beating everybody's asses. Billy comes in and just wipes him out and forces him to surrender. And Billy takes this as, a sign that I will continue to be king at least for a little bit longer, until of course the demon bird of the probabilities may have shown up, but I have beaten the probabilities for now. And Merlin's prophecy will not come to pass just yet.
Well, yeah, but it actually does come to pass, because with the arrival of the Blackbird, Billy doesn't die, but the troop dies.
It does.
Yeah. It immediately fractures with that thing over. They're like, gonna have a meeting, but everybody kind of goes on a short vacation, and now half the group is going off to do their own thing.
Yeah.
We enter the true story. Americans riding bikes.
Yes, just dudes riding bikes, meeting with agents.
They're off to do their own thing, which is a photo shoot.
Oh my God, this photo shoot.
This is where we get the title drop.
It's the single gayest outfit any man has ever worn.
Yeah, we're an hour and like 15, 20 minutes into the movie, and here we get the title drop.
Yeah. All these guys are so gay. Tom Savini, this is the gayest you'll ever see him. Every character in this movie is at least 30% gay. That is the minimum level of gayness to be in this movie. That is
the minimum level of gay you should be able to be.
He is fully just bringing the boys in for this whatever event they're promoting. And yeah, we have Knightrider written on this like platform that he's posing on, and it is so flamboyant.
Yeah, him and 2-3 beautiful women in bikinis. It is the most of everything it's possible to be.
Yes.
Like, I think heterosexual men don't understand this. If you are posing with a bunch of beautiful women in this way, it just makes you look gayer.
Right.
It does. Like, he's one of the girlies.
If you're posing mostly naked, like under like wearing some kind of like cape, not paying any attention to 2 beautiful women, you just look like you're there looking for the guys. And that's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm not deriding it. I'm just saying I don't think they know.
No, they don't. Yeah. Dudes have no idea how gay they are.
Oh yeah, no, they don't.
We see some time, or we spend some time with Judy hanging out with Tuck, and they are so into each other. I genuinely love it. Like, it's so wholesome.
Yeah, it's incredible. These two have maybe the best chemistry of any 2 characters ever in a movie.
Yeah. Everyone fucking hates Bontempi. He shows up and everyone's like, oh, ew.
That guy.
This fucking guy.
Morgan is fucking Sheila and then finds out that she's with another guy. So like he's the other man.
Oh, and Tuck is like floating in the pool and just being a goofy and fun-loving guy, and people like hate it.
He's so great. Yeah, and like he has it figured out.
And they hate him because he's right and he has life figured out. He understands.
Yeah. What are you supposed to do? Float in a pool. There is no more to life. This is as good as it usually gets.
He's just having a good time eating gooey pizza, fucking his girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
This random woman he met on the street before their last show.
We didn't comment on it, but near the beginning of the film, he's like, the cops are gonna find my still. And then Alan is like, it's not illegal to have wine, Tuck. And he's like, but life is more fun when you pretend that it is.
Yeah.
Right?
Like that's his part in this. He's just having a great time. Life is more fun when you just pretend.
Yeah.
He's right.
He is here to have fun. And even when shit is going horribly awry, he is having a blast. He knows what he's here for. He knows the assignment.
Yeah. We then take a look over at what Billy is doing, and he's having the theme of the film sung to him by a gay twink.
Yes.
And like, love to see it.
So this guy is like singing, playing acoustic guitar and singing, I would rather die in a hurricane than to never know the storm. Yeah, dude, I love it when a song just states what's going on in the movie.
Right?
Yeah.
I love it when my movie has themes.
Yeah.
Like, I love it when my movie has themes. I don't respect it when the themes are laid out in the lyrics of a song. But they talk about how they paid rent on the lot that they're on for a couple of weeks so that people will know where to find them and come back. Sure.
Yeah.
That needed to happen for the plot.
Like they kind of know that it's gonna fall apart and people are gonna come back.
Well, Billy is kind of coping at this point. Like he's like, I'm sure that it'll happen. And you get the sense that he's not sure.
It feels like maybe this has happened before to the troop.
Yeah,
Maybe.
he's definitely at his lowest here because you see him here. He's talking about how he's depressed and he feels like he's asking too much of everyone without ever giving anything back. And so,
Well, he's right about that.
He's definitely going through it here. And then
He's
the
right
guy's
about
trying
that.
to reassure him, but
Billy is a fucking asshole throughout like the first 2/3 of this movie.
Oh, absolutely. Just everything that's wrong with being egotistical, and I'll get into this later. But yeah, we go into another night fight scene, don't we?
he is in some ways a guy that is like too into his art, and he's being a control freak is ultimately the problem. Like he's
Very
falling
much so.
victim to the tendency to be like, this, I have a vision for this. It needs to be this way. We have to make it work my way. And yeah, that is
He is
part of what's at play here.
obsessed with
Well,
being
Elissa,
the king.
Well, Alyssa, we call those people auteurs, like Kubrick.
Oh yes.
Mm.
So we go into this next scene too, where they're Alan and Julie
Boars.
and one,
And Boars.
yeah,
Like Niels
they're-
Boars.
Yes,
I'm sorry. That was such a stupid joke. I'm sorry.
I'm leaving that in too.
Yeah, we go into this next scene where there's another fight, but it's only half the night. It's not great.
Well, hang on, we're not that far yet. We
Oh,
got the scene here
fuck.
where they're having this conversation and they're like having some drinks and eating a bucket of KFC.
They're hanging out with Alan's sibling and his partner, I think. It's not quite clear to me what the
Yeah, it's
relationship is, but
something
they're
like
like
that.
they're people that own a house and have kids, and he's like hanging out with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they suck. They fucking suck.
Yeah. This is maybe the one scene that could have been cut. And what's going on with the accents in this?
Oh my god. One of the two people that live in this house, they like keep dropping into an Australian accent.
It's so weird.
It's bizarre. But then while they're having this conversation, they're talking about how Alan is Marlon Brando and not Rebel Without a Cause, Easy Rider. They're like, he's hero as anti-hero. Like, excuse me, what the fuck are you talking about?
Such a baffling conversation. And
Yeah.
like I said, I think it's maybe the one scene in the movie where it just isn't adding anything.
Yeah. And then Julie, who's like on the riverbed, like drawing a heart around her initials and Alan's initials is like, let's go party somewhere in town. And then he realizes that she's disgusting, and ditches her.
Yeah, that she's not really, she's looking for an escape, but she's not looking for the kind of escape that they're offering.
Like, genuinely, he's disgusted by this and ditches her is my reading of the scene.
Well, that makes sense because the very next scene is him taking her back to her home. And like we cut to night and it's like, oh, they've been writing all day now, so he can take her home. Where
it's so fucked up.
She is going to immediately be beaten by her abusive, shitty father.
And that's not even subtext. Yeah. That's not even subtext. She is like sitting there on the front lawn of her house, like depressed that Alan has gotten rid of her, and she's like, I don't understand. And Alan's like, I know you don't. Like, damn, you're just a woman. You have woman brain. Fucking piece of shit. It's like, but then it's dark out.
She's just gonna get fucking murdered. But like
the light comes on in the house, and she's like, oh fuck. It's like the last time you saw this man, he had beaten your mom. She is going to get murdered by her father. Like that is how I read it. It is evil.
Yeah, this is the most evil thing this is the only straight up evil thing that we see a person do in this movie.
I don't know. The cop calling the cop pulling a gun on a guy and calling it his warrant is pretty fucking evil.
I forgot about the cop. The entire existence of the cop. Okay.
Well, cops aren't people. So cops aren't people. So this is the most evil thing that a person does in the movie.
Yeah.
This is it. It is. It's so weird, and it does kind of. It would have been better probably if she had bought in and started being part of the group. That would probably reinforce the theme better, because then we see her running away from like this shitty life that she has and kind of being swept away in their little fantasy. She kind of halfway does that and then gets sent back to get murdered, which I feel like undermines that theme a little bit. Maybe not, because it is motivated. I don't know. It's a little weak.
That's the last we see of Julie. That's the end of her storyline.
It is.
Yeah, she is effectively dead. Whatever happens to her character from here, she's dead to this movie. We will not see or hear from her again.
Yeah, she is an unperson for this movie now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we have this scene now where we see what happens when and I don't think this is communicated super well, but we see what happens to Morgan's attempt to go do his own thing. He arrives at this hotel room and like everybody is just fighting. This is the first time we see, the knights at each other's throats, and like there's this big brawl going on in this hotel room, and he's watching, and he's just at the end of his rope, and he leaves.
I put down here, knights apart, bad, they can't control themselves. Knights together, good. Because that is essentially the theme of what's going on here.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I agree with you completely.
Yeah, absolutely. And now Alan has kind of teleported back. There's been some passage of time that we haven't seen. And Alan comes rolling up to the hotel where Tom Savini is and is like, it's time to come back, man. And he's like,
it's time to come home.
Yeah, it's time to come. This isn't working.
Yeah, and then we get a scene where all of the people that went with Morgan, as well as Alan and Boards, are all like riding back to Lawrence, and they are so fucking stoked to be coming back, and the movie is fucking stoked.
Yeah, it's playing this triumphant music, and they've got their gay little motorcycles that are all jazzed up to look fancy.
Well, before their triumphant return, we are seeing the rest of the troop getting their shit kicked in by some randoms.
Oh, yeah.
There are some townies or biker gangs or someone who's not in the troop are fighting the true knights, as it were.
Yeah.
And then, when it's looking a little bit bleak, not the bleakest, but just a little bit bleak, the knights are returning, and we get this triumphant music, and then the returned knights are all jazzed up, and the original OG knights who stayed beat the shit out of, I want to say they're Nazis, but I don't remember.
I just choose to read it as Nazis.
The movie's better. The movie is better if they're read as being Nazis.
Yeah, then Evans right after, so they're writing back, and we come back to the beginning of the movie. We've got Ed Harris, and he's in the river, and he's whacking himself with a stick, and the Blackbird is there, but he's just like sitting by the side of the water.
He's like doing augury.
Yeah. And they go up there. They return to the camp, and Tom Savini is there with his boys, and everybody is like super fired up. The energy is back in the room.
Yeah, and Angie is like, Morgan, wow, you're back. And Morgan is like, what up, Angie? I have to go talk to my boyfriend. And like walks right past her to talk to Billy.
I'm gonna go talk to my real lover.
Yeah.
And so everyone gets back together, and they tell the agent guy to fuck off.
Yeah.
No, they don't. He just kind of like, he's all frustrated trying to figure out what's going on, telling him they can't get out of it. But right now, nobody's doing anything. That they are still bound by this agreement and everything, I guess.
Yeah, and then Steve, the company's lawyer, is like, hey, man, I don't know what's going to happen. If Billy wins, then he gets to choose, and I don't know what he's going to do. And if Morgan wins, then he gets to choose, and I don't know what he's going to do. So, like, just watch the fucking fight.
Yeah, just watch them fight, and we have some more jousting, and
for like 15 minutes, I have one note, which is this fight kicks ass.
It does. It's amazing. It doesn't really translate into this audio medium, but it is amazing to see.
It's so good. You must see it. However, just before this, we see an actual council meeting, and we see like things are firing on all cylinders. Like they know that Ed Harris is kind of fucked. He should not be out there fighting. So they're coming up with new rules. They're like, what is going to constitute? We need to have this big brawl to determine who's going to lead this group forward. And everyone looks so into it, right? Like they are deciding their own futures. There are real stakes on display here. For Billy, this is life or death as far as he's concerned. And he just looks, this is him in his element. He's so engaged. Everyone is so on board. And they decide that the rules for this thing they're going to do will be that if you lose your motorcycle, if you are separated from your method of transportation, that it counts as a surrender. They don't have to come up and like point a sword at you and do that whole routine. You're out as soon as you're downed. And that's going to be really important for this fucking bonkers, incredible action scene. They establish all these rules, and they are right out there, and Billy looks happy again for the first time since the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, his guys are together again. It's great.
Yeah, because Alan is like, hey, Morgan and his people are going to fight, and then a bunch of us are going to fight for you. The only thing you have to do is promise to not get involved.
Yeah,
don't fight.
Because you're super duper injured, and like you really shouldn't do it. You really shouldn't get into it.
They have this massive showy brawl, and like the big important thing that you're noticing here, as far beyond the insanely cool stunts in action, is that these characters they are having so much fun. Like they're getting knocked off their rides. They are being given rides back to the main group by the other team, so to speak. Everyone's smiling and having fun.
They are.
Yeah, as soon as they get out, like they're disappointed. They're like, "Oh, damn, I fucked up." But like they're friends. They're like clapping each other on the back, and they're laughing.
Yeah, because they're all together again, and they're all having a good time.
Yeah, and they're like, no matter what happens, we're a family, and like whoever's in charge, we all love each other. And I'm like, it's so wholesome.
It is. It's a found family.
Yeah. They might be competing against each other, but they are on the same team.
Yeah.
And it's great.
So ultimately, Morgan does win.
Yeah. And so that's that. Like he is taking control of the group.
Yes. Morgan starts crying while Billy kisses him and crowns him.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
A special moment between a couple of heterosexual bros.
Yeah. They're just dudes being bros.
Listen, men will concoct any number of rituals to justify touching one another. That's all I'm saying.
So, and like the defeated king now, he goes into the world and just does some hero shit.
Well, but right before that, Morgan walks up to Bontempi and tells him to fuck off, and Hegelian synthesis is achieved.
Yes.
Yeah.
He realizes that, there is a synthesis between these two approaches, and that what they have is something that is very special and cannot be so easily discarded. The fantasy of what they're doing is what is
Important.
making it work. It is
Yeah.
critical to what they're doing. They have to treat this seriously. They have to treat this like it is everything. And, you know, they can do these other things and try to, you know, bring in some income and take a practical approach to things, but without that, you know, glue of everybody being invested, the project doesn't work.
Yeah, so there's a scene that a line that I skipped over in an earlier scene where one of the characters says, like, if you're not getting some kind of spiritual fix out of this, you deserve to be with that loudmouth hype artist, talking about Bon Tempe.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's kind of the thing is Morgan denied getting anything spiritually out of Knightriders or whatever its organization is called. But he realizes, like, no, he does get a spiritual fix. That's why he comes back. And so that's sort of the impulse behind this synthesis of viewpoints.
Yeah. And then now this is where Billy rides off, no longer king, just regular guy, still
regular
wearing his
knight.
armor, Billy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Blackbird goes with him, his loyal retainer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he goes off to beat up a cop in a fast food restaurant, which is amazing.
Best scene in the movie. He beats the fucking
so good.
shit out of this cop.
It's great. I love this.
Yeah.
It is,
And then he shoves him into a freezer.
Yeah, he shoves him and locks him in the fucking freezer and gets a standing O from the fucking people
Yeah.
eating there. It's incredible.
which is exactly what would happen if you do that in real life. He also deep fries his gun.
Yes.
Yeah, he throws his gun into the deep fryer so he can't get it.
It's great.
He's like holding the gun, like contemplating using it almost, and then he just throws it into the deep fryer.
Yeah.
So good.
It's fantastic. Then there's a school scene, and my notes say, "Oh, it's indoctrination hour," and the king, the former king, comes in and hands some kid his sword.
It's the kid from the beginning of the movie.
This is the kid that wanted the signature at the very beginning.
That's
and
the same-
For some
so
reason,
he-
he's in a fucking one-room schoolhouse like it's 1850. I don't understand.
Yeah,
that.
he's being indoctrinated to
They're
he's
reciting the Pledge of Allegiance,
Yeah.
which has always creeped me out.
And it's like my thought
It's
on this
so
is
creepy.
a man in knight armor covered in grime and blood walks into this schoolhouse, hands a kid a sword, and then leaves.
just normal
Yes.
things.
It's the most badass scene ever. That kid would be so fucking worshipped by those
Stoked.
other students after that.
Yeah.
But also, Liv, the Pledge of Allegiance is normal.
No, it's not. It's creepy and weird. And
Okay.
the official position of this podcast is that it's creepy and weird, and doing it is morally wrong, and making kids do it is
But
reprehensible.
We have to force kids to do it because anti-communism.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
If you don't do it, then they'll become commies.
Oh,
Yeah.
I should also mention that this podcast is, of course, communist.
I certainly did not
Extremely.
become a communist. Never happened to me.
So anyway, the king leaves. He goes riding on his motorcycle. Dreams about riding a horse, and is hit by a truck. And then the
He
movie
looks
ends.
like shit. He is progressively more covered in blood during this.
I
sequence.
find this scene genuinely moving. I don't know about you, Liv, but
No, I laughed. It feels like it wants to be genuine and heartfelt, and I didn't have that in me.
It's silly and shocking. It's like he's writing, and we see that he is gushing blood from that wound. Like he really should be taking a break, but he will not under any circumstances. And he starts hallucinating, I guess, that he is an actual knight riding an actual horse. And plows into a semi and is just dead. And that's how the movie ends.
he's not just dead, he's fucking vaporized.
Yeah.
There's no body.
No blood, no body.
No, there's just a little bit of dangling metal making a little bit of sound.
He is hit by a truck and he ascends.
Yeah, and the Blackbird
right
is
behind
following him and is just like, holy shit.
him. Yeah.
And that's the
And then,
movie.
like the only thing we get after that is like a short funeral scene where everybody's like, oh well, yep,
Yeah.
he sure did
Yeah.
die. I guess we go ride.
Yeah, and then over the credits, King Morgan rides.
Yeah.
But genuinely, I did find that scene where he's like slowly dying and then hallucinating himself riding a horse to be like very meaningful, because it's like he accomplished his goal of living that authentic self, living as his authentic self.
Yeah, it works really well in the context of the movie.
Yeah, he was able to die the way that he wanted to live, and I find that really personally meaningful.
It's also so shocking when it happens, though, that it's hard to not laugh at it. Like it is silly and how shocking it is.
It is silly and grotesque, but it's a really good way to end a movie. It's not like fading out and weird. It just, he's dead, end off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that this movie slams down its themes like a dick on the table and is like, look at it.
Oh, yeah, it is unsubtle in the extreme.
A lot of times, you know, when films do that, it doesn't work. They go to I don't know how I would describe it, but like usually you are hit with people directly monologuing themes in a way that feels really artificial, but the dialogue for the most part in this feels so natural, and the relationships between the characters feel so natural, and all of these things. You're not just being blindsided, with a semi of here are all of the things. Here's my thesis statement. It's here are all of these different parts. Every part of the film is cohesive. It is all pushing you in one direction. And when we make these, you know, big statements about what the themes are, where we're directly expositing them, it is reinforcing that, and it is working cohesively with everything else in the film.
I think there are two big reasons why it works here as well as it does. The first one is that the themes have real consequences for the decisions that the characters are making in the film. Like the way that they feel about things matters to what they're doing. Right.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that really helps it feel natural is that the actors just have a lot of chemistry.
They do.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's lovely. We do love to see people who have fun on screen because everyone is clearly loving what they're doing while they're doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like they are doing something really cool here. They are doing it without a lot of the, you know, studio bullshit that this movie is kind of about. You know, in a less direct way.
I want to know what happens to Bon Tempe after this.
He gets eaten by a T-Rex.
You're so right.
It's the same guy.
You're so right.
It's actually just the same character.
His name is like Gennaro in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, well, he changed his name because he got shamed by a guy wearing like sparkly, gay-looking knight armor, and it was clearly made out of foam, and there's no coming back from that one.
Okay, so let's see. The actor that plays him is named Martin Ferrero. He is known for, of course, Jurassic Park, but also Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Hell yes.
Air Bud World Pup, The Naked Man, and High Spirits.
I haven't heard of those last two.
He was also in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, that movie kicks ass.
He's still alive. Wow.
So
we should get him on the pod.
All there's left to say is this movie censor approved? And I would say largely yes.
Absolutely.
I didn't think I would change this movie at all. It's a wonderful tale of the dangers of ego and obsession with control.
This is a nearly perfect film about art and artists and doing your art. And you gotta love it.
This is a beautiful movie about living authentically and figuring out how to live with other people.
And we're all correct.
And
it's about all these things.
Yeah. And with that, this has been Art Should Be Illegal. Our next movie is going to be hopefully a good one. It's called T-Blockers from 2023, made in Australia, and it might be a little bit transsexual.
Liv, you like T-Blockers?
I love me some T-Blockers.
Whoa, that's too gay for me. I can't. Okay.
Goodbye, everyone.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah, goodbye.